I am Dr. P. Deivasigamani from Amet Business School. Now I am going to talk about the concepts of computer networks. What is a computer network? A computer network, when two or more computers when connected, we call it as a computer network. Why it is done? Basically for communication as well as to share the resources. The physical connection between any two devices can be either wired or by wireless. What are some of the common wired devices that is being used? Shared cable, UTP cable and coaxial cable and so on. In wireless media, we can connect through Bluetooth, infrared and then through RF radio waves. So, however, what is the best example of a computer network? Everybody is aware of internet. So, internet is the best example of a computer network and it is a global communication network. So, what are the components which makes a computer network? The basic computers are required, then network interface card, a hub or a switch or a router as well as a software which is required for a computer network. So, it enhances the communication and availability of information. We are all aware of the common applications like FTP, Telnet, then email and so on. These applications will work unless otherwise if you have a computer network. The next one is that lot of information we are searching is because of the global communication network called as internet, and where internet comprises of many servers which we actually access through www and uses a protocol called HTTP protocol to access an information. So, computer network mainly uses for communication as well as for the resources, and the most important is sharing of resources. What does it mean? When you have a computers of about 50 computers are connected, and you can have only one computer, one printer for connectivity to all the 50 computers. So, anyone wants to print, if he given access permission to use the printer, he can send information to the printer and gets print out. So, what does it mean? It means that computer network allows you for resources sharing. Not only printers, any device which has a network interface like scanners, CD device and storage devices. If you can put it on the network, all the devices can be connected to the computers. So, time and cost saving, because you need not connect all the printers to individual computers. So, lot of cost is saved to the organization. And what happened to the other our day to day life? You want to book a railway ticket, you want to book a train ticket, you want to book a airline ticket, and you want to book a hotel accommodation. Everything you can book from your home without visiting that place. So, why? Because of computer networks, because of internet made possible 24/7, and it is any time, any day, anywhere in the world. I can able to book my all these set tickets information for self. So, the next one, so in short, the network improves communication, resource sharing, file sharing, flexibility, and thereby lot of cost is being saved to an organization. So, now we have seen the positive side of the network connectivity. Now, we will see what is the negative side. So, any activity or anything will have a both positive and negative. If positive is more, then and if negative is less, you can conduct the activity or perform that job. So, in a similar manner, the network connectivity or the computer network has got lot of the positive one, but however, it has got some negative also. What are they? To mention a few, we can say that cost of installation, because we have to have the network interface card, then cables has to be laid, then you should have a passive device, you should have an active device, and so on. So, the cost of establishing a network is slightly more than the without a network. The next one, it also requires a time for administration. Suppose if a cable is cut, then the network gets affected, throughput gets problem, and the work also gets affected. The next one is, suppose if a server gets failed, then there won't be any connectivity to the network. So, in short, we can say few of the disadvantages and advantages are many. That is why we are using computer network for our day to day life as well as for the organization purpose. Now, classification of a computer network. Computer networks are broadly classified into 5. What are they? PAN, LAN, WAN, MAN, and CAN. First of all, let us see what are the expansion for all these jargons. Now, first take the PAN. PAN is personal area network. Then what is LAN? Local area network. What is WAN? Wide area network. What is MAN? Metropolitan area network. And what is finally CAN? CAN is campus area network. In the coming slides, we will see each and every one how this is made up of and what are the advantages to the organization or to the business. As the name suggests, personal area networks is used for an individual. Any devices which are closest to an individual like PDA, like your laptop, and then other devices, network devices can be connected and it can be used. So, what is the major one? It can be connected through either by hotspot or by infrared or by a Bluetooth, but only restriction is that it should be within less than 10 meters. So, coming to local area network. What is a local area network? A network within a short place, say around within this building, within this room. If a network is made up of computers are connected, then we call it as a local area network. So, each computer device on the network, we call it as a node, and what is required for a LAN? We require either a hub or a switch. So, we call this hub or a switch as an active device. What is the difference between a passive device? We call cable as a passive device, and we call routers, switches, hubs are called as active devices. So, what is the main difference between an active device and a passive device? Passive device does not require any power for its function. Active device requires a power for its function. Hub, without power I cannot use the hub, but cable does not require a power. Just lay the cable connected to the computer, it starts working. So, in short, local area network requires both active devices as well as a passive device. Campus area network, as the name suggests, it is also a similar LAN, but it is not within a short space, but it can be spread across many buildings. For example, take Amet University. Amet University has got more than 8-10 buildings are there. Every building has got a LAN. Every building has been connected to the other building. So, the entire unit we call it as a campus area network. So, any resource on any building can be accessed by any person sitting in any other building. So, that network we call it as, when it is within a small room, we call it as a LAN. When it is spread across the campus, then we call it as a campus area network. So, what is a WAN? WAN we call it as a wide area network. It is subset of your LAN. basic is LAN. When the LAN spreads across the campus, we call it as a campus area network. When the LAN spread across different cities, different towns, different places, different capitals, different countries, then we call it as a wide area network. So, a good example of wide area network is your internet. Now, we take a small diagram. With the help of a diagram, I am going to tell you what is a LAN, what is a CAN, campus area network, and what is a MAN, metropolitan area network, and then finally what is a WAN, wide area network, to have a better understanding. Now, we will quickly see this is a small setup of a LAN which has got 4 nodes A, B, C, D, and anyway I have put a cable and also I have put a 4 port hub. So, we will quickly see how does the network communicates between the 4 nodes. This is the similar manner for 50 nodes also, the same thing is going to happen. In a LAN, the network interface card plays a very vital role. Suppose A wants to talk to B. We take 2 scenarios. First, we will take the scenario of a hub. Then, if I replace the hub with a switch, so how does the communication between the nodes happens? We will quickly see. Suppose A wants to communicate with D, then A, this NIC card has a MAC address. We call it as a MAC address, machine access code address. This address is a unique address, very particular for this network interface card. This address, so whenever A wants to communicate to D, it knows that it will also send what is the sender address and who is the receiver address. Every device on the network will have an MAC address as well as an IP address. So, MAC address is used for LAN and IP addresses are used for WAN. Both are configured in the NIC card. This MAC address is inbuilt. So, when the manufacturer manufactures a network interface card, this MAC address is being fused. So, you cannot alter it. But IP addresses are manual, you can configure manual or automatic. Automatically, by using a DHCP server, we will be able to configure the IP address. Now, as I said, A wants to communicate to D, and this sends the, what it will send? One is its the sender address. What is sender address? We call it as A, and who is the receiver? This is D, because it is a hub. So, what will happen? This hub will broadcast this sender address to all the ports. this receiver address D will be broadcasted to all the 4 ports. So, this fellow will actually know the B port will read, it will read. So, the destination address is D, so it will ignore. C will also read the packet, since the destination address is for D, this will also ignore. But when D actually reads this packet, it will accept and then communication takes place. This is how a communication establishes for a 4 port hub. Now, we replace this 4 port hub with a switch and see how does it works. The main difference between a hub and a switch is that hub is a broadcasting device. It does not know which machine is connected to which port, but whereas switch is an intelligent device which knows which machine is connected to which port. For example, machine A, it definitely knows it is connected to port 1, machine B definitely connected to port 2, C connected to port 3 and D it is connected to port 4. Now, what happens when A wants to communicate to D, the same sender address, and no, when it comes here, it knows that the destination address is D and which is already there in the port 4. So, it actually connects to port 4 and then it gets connected. Simple. So, switch intelligently knows what are the different devices and which is connected to the different ports, and hence there is no broadcast is required. So, majority of the networks, more than 95% of the networks are made up of switches which does not broadcast for the communication. Hope you will understand how does the devices on the network communicates by using a hub or a switch. Now, quickly we will learn the 3 networks whatever we have seen now with the help of a small diagram. Now, we are not going to draw all 4 LAN, WAN and DAN. Now, we will see what is a LAN. We have already seen the LAN diagram. Now, we have to see what is a CAN, campus area network, campus area network. Then we should see what is a wide area network, and the 4th one is MAN, metropolitan area network. So, quickly we will see, we know LAN. So, instead of putting all 4 computers, we put this as a LAN 1, we say LAN 2, we say LAN 3. This is in building A, this is in one building A, this is in building B, this is in building C, all are connected. So, the entire network we call it as campus area network. It can be, now for an example I have given 3 buildings, for Amet it is more than 8. So, all buildings have a LAN and all buildings are interconnected. Any resource on any LAN can be accessed by any other person sitting on any other building. So, now we have seen what is a LAN, we have seen what is a WAN. Now, we will see what is a MAN. For example, this is LAN 1 and this is LAN 2. LAN 1 we call it as Amet Kanatur University, and this is connected to Amet Anna Nagar. So, both LAN put together we call it as a metropolitan area network, because it resides in the same town or the city. So, then what is the difference between a WAN? The same LAN, if the same LAN it is in Chennai, if it is connected to Delhi, LAN 1, LAN 2, this is India, say Chennai, and this is Dubai. So, both the networks, when you connect now Chennai LAN with the Delhi LAN of Amet University and Chennai LAN with the Dubai LAN of Amet University, both are called as wide area network. So, internet is made up of all the wide area networks. So, I hope you have understood what is a LAN. Local area network comprises of computers with active device and passive device, campus area network, connectivity between many buildings spread across the campus, then it is called as a campus area network, metropolitan area network which connects the two places within the same city. For example, Kanatur and the Anna Nagar, and the last one is wide area network where the LAN of different places Chennai and Delhi, then it is also called as a WAN, and Chennai and Dubai, it is a different country altogether, but still we call it as a WAN. Now, we will see the architecture. What is an architecture? The logical design of how the devices in the network communicates. So, what are the commonly used architecture in this universe? There are only three types. One is client server architecture, peer to peer architecture, then finally hybrid architecture. We will see how this client server architecture works, peer to peer architecture, and what we mean by hybrid architecture in the following slides. So, the client server architecture, the name very clearly says there are two components, one is a client and another is a server. If you see this diagram, you can see that this is the server. So, the server has got is a high end machine with all resources, all the applications, and the databases are maintained here, and this server is being connected to the nodes or the client. So, this client actually gets connected, this is a network, and access the server and get the information. This type of architecture is known as client server architecture. This is most commonly used in the universe. So, advantages, if you see the advantages, because all the clients does not have any software and it is only maintained in the server. So, it is very highly secure. So, performance, because if it is a high end server, always throughput is high, the CPU power is high, the memory power is high, and the hard disk capacity is high. So, the entire performance of the server is also high, throughput is also high. So, when that is then you have a better performance. And most important thing is that in order for a redundancy, we have to take a backup. On a daily basis, we have to take a backup. Suppose if I do not have a client server architecture, assume what will happen. Every machine will have a software, every machine I work data, and every machine has to be backed up. Suppose if it is 10 machine, it is easy, but if it is 100 machine, problem, and if it is 1000 machines, we cannot say. So, client server architecture is the best architecture and is most suitable architecture for easy maintenance, and one of the most important advantage of client server architecture is centralized backup, and mostly it is very reliable. Even if the server fails, I have a backup, and then when I restore the server backup, from the minute onwards when the restoration takes place, the server is live and up and running, and no data is being lost. So, however, as I said, any activity has a positive and negative side or advantages and disadvantages. Now, we will now look into the disadvantages of the client server architecture. As I have said in the beginning itself, the server has to be a high capacity, then the cost is also high. So, and you and I cannot maintain, a professional server administrator has to maintain. So, it requires a special administrator, and and so the hardware is costly, and the cost of the server is also more, and maintenance also normal people will not be able to maintain the server, and only the professional has to do the maintenance. These are all some of the few disadvantages, and when compared to advantages, disadvantages are less. So, most of the universe they use the client server architecture. Peer to peer architecture, the name says peer to peer, it means what? One to one. So, if you see the diagram, see computer A is connected to the scanner, computer A is also connected to computer B also connected to the printer. So, what does it mean peer to peer? No specific extension between client and server, all nodes in peer to peer architecture are same. So, this computer A will send the request for a service and also it can do a service. The computer A can access the printer, though it is not directly connected, but it is connected through B, but still computer A will able to access the printer. If you notice that even computer B is not directly connected to the scanner, but whereas the scanner is connected to computer A. So, but still computer B will be able to access the scanner. This is the beauty of peer to peer architecture. All nodes which are on the network are treated equal, and every node will be able to access the other resources on the network. We will now see what are the advantages and disadvantages, because peer to peer architecture is simple, so less expensive, easy to administer, no IOS, no specific qualification is required to monitor this, and very easy to set up, and hence it is a low cost. So, this is peer to peer is very much useful for a organization with this small less number of computers. And now disadvantage, not very secure, no central point of storage, because everybody has to take their own backup. So, maintenance become tedious, and that is the disadvantage of peer network. In other words, peer to peer network is best suitable for a smaller organization, client server architecture is best suitable for a larger number of organization. Hybrid architecture, what is meaning of hybrid? Hybrid is, what does it mean? It is a mix and match of the previously learnt architecture. What are the architecture we have learned? First of all, we have seen what is a client server architecture, and second one we have seen peer to peer architecture. If you closely monitor the diagram, you can see that this is a client server architecture, whereas this is a peer to peer architecture. When both the architectures are connected, we call it as a hybrid architecture. So, it has got all the advantages of peer to peer, all the disadvantages of peer to peer, all the advantages of clients and server, and all the disadvantages of the client and server. So, that is called as a hybrid architecture. So long we have seen how computer networks, how they are got connected, what are different types of computer. Now we will see the different topologies available. What do you mean by topology? The way in which the computers are connected is called as a topology. So, what are different topologies available in the universe? The first one we call it as a bus topology. The second one we call it as a star topology. The third one we call it as a ring topology. Fourth one we call it as a mesh topology, and fifth one tree topology, and the last one is hybrid topology. We will quickly see what does this topology means, how does this connectivity happens for the computers using different topology, and we will also evaluate which topology is being mostly used. Bus topology, popular topology for data network, single transmission media. If you see that only one cable goes, normally a coaxial cable is being used. At the end, if you can see a terminator is at the bottom of the bus, observe the signal for removing in the bus, otherwise what will happen? Noise will get generated. So, normally coaxial cable is used, single transmission media with various nodes. So, easy to set up. This is the oldest technology that being used. The second most common topology being widely used in the universe is star topology. The name suggests why it called star. because all the nodes has to be connected to a central hub. I have already shown you the LAN. All the nodes are connected to a hub or a switch. In a similar manner, if you use the star topology, either all the network devices, the network devices means what? All the devices which has a network interface built in to connect it to the network. It can be a scanner, it can be a CD-ROM, it can be a hard drive, it can be also a printer. All these devices, when they are connected to a single hub or a switch, and then we call it as a star topology, and this is the widely used topology for the connectivity. A ring topology, as the name suggests, if you see that A is connected to B, B is connected to C, this machine is connected to here. So, the ring topology connects nodes on a network through a point to point connection. Nowhere there is no central hub is there. So, how does it work? Data is accepted. So, this computer accepts data from here and then it transfers to it, and it will read whether if the destination is not to this computer, it simply sends the message. To explain you further, assume this computer wants to do a printout. This computer is connected to this. So, a printout data is sent to this. So, this reads the destination, it knows that the destination is not mine. So, it immediately sends to the next. It will also read the destination address. So, it knows that it is not, and it is being sent to the printer. When the printer able to see the destination address, it knows that the data has to be printed. So, the machine actually sends the data and it gives and gets printed. So, if you are able to see one to one connection, and what is the major problem in it? Suppose if there is a break, so the entire network fails. That is one of the major disadvantage of ring topology. Mesh topology, each node is connected to more than one node. If you can see that this computer is connected to here, this computer is also connected to the neighbor, this computer is diagonally connected here. So, why so many connections for a computer? Why? Because this provides an alternate route mechanism. Most of the network on the internet follows this mesh topology, because we really do not know when a connectivity between this and this will fail, and if it fails, it has to take an alternative route. So, excellent for long distance networking. So, as I already said, the internet is a global communication network, means what? It is a long distance and supports backup and rerouting. It means what? It calculates the shortest path. It takes suppose if you want to reach here, it can go like this, or it can go like this and this. So, but it can directly goes here. So, this is the shortest path. The mesh network also have a shortest path, as well as redundancy is being available. Hence, this is one of the most frequent network being used for the long distance communication. The next topology, we call it as a tree topology, where is a combination of star and bus topology. Star topology, to recollect, we say that all the nodes are connected to a common bus, and the star topology, all the nodes are connected to a common hub, and a bus topology, all the nodes are connected to a common bus. If you can see that this is the common bus, this is a star topology, combination of this. The root machine, we call it as a parent. All the machines which are down below, we call it as a child. So, this tree topology actually follows an hierarchy model for the functioning. The last one is the hybrid topology. As the name suggests, it can be a combination of the different topologies, whatever we have seen. First, we have seen star topology, second we have seen bus topology, third we have seen tree topology, mesh topology, and finally the hybrid topology. Any combination of your bus ring or bus star or bus mesh or bus tree, any combination, we call it as a hybrid topology. So, in this lecture we have seen what are the concepts of a computer network, what are the components which are required for a computer network, and what are different types of network like LAN, WAN, CAN, MAN, and know what are different topologies that are available for the connectivity of a computer network. So, what are the topologies we have seen? We have seen a bus topology, we have seen a star topology, we have seen a tree topology, we have seen a mesh topology, and finally, we have seen the hybrid topology. So, with this I conclude my lecture, and thank you for listening.